everyone. So the MCs for the afternoon have sort of kept you awake, I'm assuming. I remember Ramesh Bhatt sir used to do an exercise, a little yoga exercise in his sessions, post-lunch sessions. I don't have that expertise. So I'll start off quickly. I'll try and wrap it up as fast as I can. I'm not speaking on the economy this time. I thought I'll give a couple of examples more from a point of view of how to get better from where you are, the better version of yourself in a certain sense. I don't really know much about it, but whatever little I've understood, whatever little I've tried in my own professional life and whatever I've read, I'm trying to sort of compile that here. And before all that, thanks a lot to IFA Galaxy. Thanks a lot for having me here. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. So I'll try and quickly start off with this. There's a very beautiful saying that they keep talking about. I think the actor Will Smith talks about this all of the time. He says, you don't worry about the big wall that you have to build. Just lay that one brick that you're laying at a time, just lay that perfectly. You lay that one brick at a time perfectly, the wall builds itself. And this is the most important. Every sports psychologist, every sports coach, everybody tells you exactly the same thing. Be in the present, something that Tale also says the same thing. Be in the present, don't worry about the results. Do the best that you can at this point in time. Lay that brick. So I'll start off with this often quoted example. James Clear talks about this a lot, but I'll reiterate the same thing again. So you'll go to British cycling, how it was and what it really became. So for nearly more than 100 years, UK had just one Olympic gold medal, and that too it was in 1908. They had nothing for more than 100 years, and this was in cycling, and there was something called the Tour de France, that's a 3-day cycling race. Britain had nothing there. There was not even one Tour de France that was actually in a British cyclist's name, nothing of that sort. They were so bad that European companies were unwilling to sell their bikes to the UK team because they said, I don't want the UK athletes to actually be seen riding our bikes because we feel it will actually affect our sales. That's how bad UK was at one point in time. 2003, they hire a gentleman called David Brailsford, 2003. Very interestingly, he is a gentleman, he was in cycling, he wasn't able to successfully translate into professional cycling. But then eventually he figured his calling was in sports psychology and he did sports management. And after this, everything changed for Britain. So when he came on board, he and his team, they did a set of tweaks. Nothing very significant, all very basic, standard stuff. He said, first, they redesigned all the bikes. Wherever they felt they were not ergonomic, they started redesigning the bikes. The tires, they started getting lighter tires, ergonomic seats, aerodynamic suits, the suits that you actually use for indoor cycling, they started using that for outdoor cycling. Equipment, they started upgrading the equipment, spent a fair bit of money to upgrade equipment. They had biosensors on every single athlete to try and figure out how does each individual athlete, how does he react to stimuli, and accordingly they were trying to train him differently. Nutrition was customized. Everybody doesn't eat the same thing based on each one's gut health, based on each one's physical condition and metabolic rates. The nutrition was changed. And professional coaching. This is all standard stuff that every coach does. Nothing really significant, nothing very exotic, nothing of that sort. But then he did something that nobody had ever thought of before, nobody had ever tried even doing in the cycling circuit in Britain. The trucks that were carrying these cycles, he started painting them white on the inside. They figured that even the smallest amount of dust, if they do get in between, it starts hampering the performance of the cycle. It might just be a millisecond or 1 second that the difference that it actually makes, but he figured over the course of time, because this was a 3-day affair, every single detail counted. And then he brought surgeons in, he taught them how to wash their hands. And this is why everybody got a little surprised. They say, what does it have to do with washing hands? They figured that if they catch cold, your lungs don't perform at its 100% best, and that is the most important thing when you're cycling long distance. So a surgeon teaches them how to wash hands, no handshakes during competitions because germs pass on as fast, especially at that point in time. Every athlete had his own custom-made pillow and mattress, because when you're having that good night's rest, how relaxed your joints are when you sleep really matters a lot. The shorts that they were wearing were electrically heated, so the muscles are warm all the time. That gives extra benefit for the athlete who's on the bike. All the athletes during recovery, the massage gels, each one had a different massage gel, but largely the same. They figured that certain types of massage gels were able to trigger the muscles to get back to normalcy much faster. So a lot of experimentation there. Focus on mental health, and the most important, psychological training, trying to be in the present and not think about the results. So I was talking to a couple of gentlemen in the morning. So I think almost all of this is something that the IFA Galaxy team has been doing for a while, for the last 6 months to get exactly here. So probably all the team members probably should be presenting this, but this is exactly what they've probably also followed. Now, this is a phrase that all of you might have heard of in the book Atomic Habits. James Clear talks about it. Aggregation of marginal gains. All these changes doesn't really change anything. Nothing really changes. There's just a very micro marginal change that happens, but when these marginal changes add up and accumulate, it really turns out into something very, very different. So they're trying to improve everything just by around 1%, equipment, routines, recovery, hygiene, every single thing, you're trying to improve it just by that 1 extra percentage. And what were the results? 2008 Olympics. So 2003 he comes in, 2008 Olympics, 26% of the gold medalists were British. And 2012 Olympics, 70% of the gold medalists were British. And a few months later, in the Tour de France title was actually clinched by Britain. 2013, 2015, 2016, and 2017. They repeat this again and again and again. For 100 years, plus years, they had just 1 gold medal, and now they just filled with it. And this is how the tally looked like. This Sydney 2000, and just after Sydney 2000 is when David Brailsford comes in, and you can see the Britain's tally exactly after that. They dominated the cycling space between 2007 to 2017, completely dominated the space. Now, this is just an example of what we saw in Great Britain, or the United Kingdom. We have an example right in Namma Chennai and in India. You have Dhoni or Tala. It was almost exactly the same. So 2007, we had a really, really bad outcome from the 2007 World Cup. We left in the first phase itself. But then what were the issues? Before he came in, you had superstars, but no process, no discipline, not as much as one probably wanted it. Inconsistent fitness and fielding standards. You had decision making under pressure was not really great. Seniority seemed to matter much more than role clarity. And these were the key issues that really plagued it before he came in. And after he came in, a lot of things changed. Something that he keeps talking about, control the controllables. If you can't control it, don't worry about it. You do the best that you can, stay in the present, lay that one brick perfectly. Everything else will fall in place. So what changed? Your fitness in fielding became non-negotiable. Whether it was a senior, it didn't really matter. Fitness and fielding became non-negotiable. There was much more clarity on roles, much more clarity on expectations, very short meetings, no micromanaging, and repetition. If you have figured this was the perfect routine to do, You just keep doing it, going at it again and again and again, no experimentation after that. And this was the result, 2011. So these are two examples that really bring out where one should probably get to just by doing what they do best, just by laying that one brick perfectly. Now, what can you do? From this example of David Brailsford, you have, let's say they have a warm-up routine every single day. Don't track the market 24/7. It's really not needed. At the end of the day, you can just take a dump and just take a look at the market. Create those daily routines. Create that 20-minute discussion on markets, queries, flag those queries, try and figure out where the flows are, just 20 minutes before the market starts off. Have every single week a client education message. Something, you have AI today, AI can do half your job. Just create that little connect. And like Shyam sir had mentioned in our pre-lunch session, he says, the ones whom you generally tend to remember are the ones that don't really pitch or pitch business to you. It is the off-business calls that you actually remember. So they give you a call, have that human touch. Trust is the most important in this business. The minute you invest your time and energy in that client, the client trusts you, half the job is done. A monthly schedule of client portfolios, you have to monitor them. Only if you monitor them, that incremental progress does really happen. Now, what can your 1% areas be? Client callback. If you take, let's say, 24 hours for a client callback, try to bring it 5 minutes lesser. Start off with just maybe reducing it by 5 minutes. Try to reduce that time. Your meetings before you sit with your client, just take 3 key pointers. If you can't boil down into three key things, then it means you've not really read that portfolio well enough. Your portfolio reports make every single thing visual. The minute it is visual, you remember it much, much more. We are visual human beings. We are not number-oriented guys to start with. Onboarding forms, just relook your onboarding forms. Try and see, can you make that small, maybe if there is one line that is probably not needed. It might not really change anything, but small changes that you can probably make in every single thing, it will really translate into something very, very different. Motivation is largely overrated. It is that discipline and that consistency that really matters. You will have one call a day, one genuine non-sales connect every single day, all the working days of the year, roughly, let's say 250 days. If you get even 10% referrals from those 250 calls, one call a day, you get 25 new clients that will probably stay with you. Referrals are the most powerful. Have the white paint that I was talking about. What is the white paint for you? Your SIP pipeline. Have a visual whiteboard of your SIP pipeline, where you want to get, where you are visually. Every single day you know where exactly you stand. Color coding. If you have not spoken to a client, in the last maybe 2 months, let that flag as a red. Color code your entire client talk sheet. You have to upgrade. So your businesses are the ones that AI cannot really hamper as long as you upskill. The client will come to you checking on AI for the answer for the question that he already has, and then he will ask you the same question. So you need to use AI a little bit more than the client does. Focus on your communication, not the sales. Sales will come. Lay that brick, the wall will build itself. Client documentation, try to simplify it. Standardize your FAQs for all the common doubts. Only what gets measured gets managed. Please remember this. If you do not measure it, if you don't know where you stand, if you don't really know where you want to go, if you are not able to visualize that, it's very difficult for that progress to come through. You measure it, it will get managed, and you can do that 1% for every single thing that you measure. Have a log of the percentage of clients that you're contacting on a monthly basis. Measure the time that you have done from query to resolution. Every single time, measure that time. Try and see if you can reduce it even lesser. Your conversion rates, try and see if you can improve on those conversion rates. SIP cancellations, try and figure that, monitor that out, but also pat yourself in the back and try and see how many SIP cancellations you have stopped. So the most important is businesses are not built by your extraordinary days. Your ordinary days get the best out of them. That is the be all and end all of it. So you lay that brick, the wall builds itself. And I'll stop with this. The opportunity that you see in India is here for the next 100 years. We are 15% of the world's population today. We will be 15% of the world's population 50 years hence. We will be 15% of the world's population 100 years hence. The opportunity is staring right at you, and we are at an inflection like never ever before. So stay invested, stay for the long term, lay that one brick perfectly, the wall builds itself. Thank you.
Wonderful, fantastic.